The ANC National General Council resolution on what to do with members who are facing criminal charges is set to be put to the test over the coming days. The party's highest-ranking decision-making body is expected to deliberate on the constitutionality of the resolution, which calls on leaders implicated in crime and corruption to step aside. A virtual meeting of the ANC's National Executive Committee began on Sunday, that's today. Slindela Masikane is watching that story for you.
Key organizational matters and pressing issues that confront our nation. That's how the African National Congress has described what its National Executive Committee meeting will be focusing on. One of those organizational matters expected to be discussed is the constitutionality of the party's own resolution, which calls for leaders implicated in corruption to step aside. The ANC has reportedly obtained legal opinions on the matter.
One is presumed innocent until proven guilty by a court of law. But obviously the ANC has the NEC, it has the PWC, it has the NWC, which is now your provincial working committee, your national working. They can take these decisions because they're embodied or they're empowered to take these types of decisions. In terms of the law, if one says to a person, listen, you have to step down because you're facing criminal charges, you're actually infringing on that person's constitutional right because he has a right to be presumed innocent until proven guilty.
In its 2017 Nasrec conference, the ANC resolved that all those accused of corruption and other serious crimes, including those charged in the courts, must step aside from their positions to protect the image of the ANC. This call was reiterated by the party's president, Cyril Ramaphosa, back in August. But the ANC seems to be unable to actually implement this resolution.
That inability to identify or at least articulate exactly what the basis for implementing the rule was going to be was their biggest flaw that they had in that NEC meeting. Unfortunately, what we've then seen is that their most prominent individual, who is the Secretary General, essentially the CEO of the organization, he himself has then been implicated because he now has a matter pending before the courts. And now it's a question of, well, if somebody that senior and somebody that important doesn't apply that rule voluntarily, why should anyone else bother with it?
ANC Secretary General Ace Magashule, Home Affairs Portfolio Committee Chairperson Bongani Bongo, and member of the KwaZulu-Natal Legislature Zandile Gumede are among those facing fraud and corruption charges in several courts. Magashule and Bongo have publicly expressed they would not be stepping aside while their matters are ventilated in the courts of law. The NEC meeting is expected to conclude on Tuesday. Slindela Masikane, Johannesburg.